Rev up your engine! Okay, here I have a Honda Civic. They don't feel that it's running right, especially when it takes off first thing in the morning. They had a bunch of brake work done. He's thinking maybe it's the brakes, but we're going to start first with the scan. Always start with a simple scan because you don't want to do a ton of work only to find you missed an obvious thing that a scan tool is going to tell you in 5 minutes. So we get the old scan tool out, and we'll look for the plug. There it is right there. Vehicle doesn't have all that many miles on it. It's 79,770. So it's already detected the vehicle. We'll do a standalone diagnosis, and we're going to do a total scan of this thing. Take a general look around. Got a nice sunroof, nicely appointed black and chrome trim, nice comfy seats. These Civics have gone a long way from the little crappers they originally were. Alright, now we got the auto scan. We can do a topology of the CAN system, so here we go. And then I like having a nice screen here, unlike some of the Toyotas having ugly things sticking up, and being a Honda, they're really big on the tachometer. Racing around. This has got a racy feel to it, right? It's got a mechanical emergency brake. I love that. I love the mechanical ones. The heck with that electronic crap. Going 100%. There are no trouble codes at all. Doesn't mean there isn't anything wrong, but the obvious things are okay, so we'll start it up and we'll go to live data. And we'll start analyzing it and see if anything looks a little bit squirrely or not. So far, all that. MAF sensor stable. Nothing really looks all that bad. We'll just keep looking. Remember, black is good. Although here we have the AC temperature sensor is off. It's cold now and he's not using the AC. He's not worried about that. That isn't going to make the car run weird. That's just going to affect the air conditioning system. And it's cold now, so we can't really check it out. It's 30 degrees out now. No misfires. Everything's looking good. So there's no obvious problems. But let's look under the hood, see if anything is physically off. So the first thing we're going to check is the air filter. You wouldn't believe how many times I found cars and the air filters had never been changed. Well, this is interesting because this has a K&N oiled air filter. And as you can see, when we put it up to the sun, check it out. Look, you can see the sun through it. It's perfectly clean. He just installed it. Now, since we don't know the history, we're going to pull out one of the spark plugs and look at it. We'll take off one coil. We'll look at the spark plug. Maybe they're all worn out. We don't know. So I'll pull out a spark plug and take a look at it. And here we go. So we'll look at the spark plug. Now these are iridium spark plugs. I stands for iridium. And if we look close enough, they're totally normal. But you never know. So we're going to look up the gap and measure it. Well, the gap is 44 thousandths of an inch. And when we stick this on here, it's exactly 44 thousandths of an inch. So it doesn't worn at all. These iridium plugs sometimes last even a couple 100,000 miles. So it's not the plugs either. So we'll put the plug back in. I kind of figured they were okay because it had no history of misfires. And if your plugs are really worn, especially first thing in the morning, you'll get misfires. The computer would memorize it, and it would tell me. And it didn't tell me that, so I'm tending to think that it's in his braking system because he's had problems with them. So first we're going to check the back brakes with the emergency brake off and see if anything is weird. He's had these brakes worked on, so I'm kind of... that one's perfectly fine. You can see it's not sticking or anything. Doesn't have any play. Now we'll pull the emergency brake on, see what's up there. That's working fine, and we'll release it. And it releases, so there's nothing wrong. We'll do the other side. So now we'll jack up the other side, see if that's acting up. Now, doesn't have any play. We'll pull the emergency brake again. It's locking up, we release it. Well, there's no problem there, so we'll check the front ones. So we'll jack the front up, and in this case, those are the drive wheels, because this is front wheel drive. So go inside, we turn the key on, just so the inner light's on. Oh, you can start. We'll put it in neutral and turn it off. That way the wheel will turn if it's not locking up. And in this case, turning perfectly fine, no play. So there's nothing wrong on this side. Now, the emergency brake only works the back, so there's no testing that. No test the other side. So here we come to the last one, and nothing wrong with that either. So there's nothing wrong with the braking system. Now, we can't find anything physically or electronically wrong, so we're going to put some of Bernie's fuel injector cleaner in it. Could be the injectors are a little bit dirty with 80,000 miles, and then first thing in the morning, you're going to get some hesitation and stuff. So we're going to add this. We'll pour the whole bottle in. Out it goes. So here we go. Backing up. You can see it's got a backup camera. And we'll take it through a little paces here. We will go downtown of what there is in Portsmouth. It is a town after all, it's not a city, so it does have a downtown. And we'll take it on our little drag strip and we'll see how it does there. All right, so here we go to our little drag strip and we'll see what this little Honda's gonna do. It's already nice now. Maybe Bernie's cleaners worked already. New information, check tire pressure. Just beeped and went at us. So we're gonna go back and check the tires because it's running fine. When you drive a car, the tires heat up. So low on pressure, they'll be kind of out of round, but as you drive, the heat makes the pressure go up. He said, first thing, he heard weird noises. I didn't hear any noises now because it came here warmed up. If one tire was really low, it's going to make a weird noise too. So let's check them. Oh, it's at 0 now. Let's see. This is 26 and a half. We'll put 32 in each one of them. Okay, this has 32 now. Here goes number 2. We'll see what it's got. 26, so it's pretty close to the other one. We'll put 32 in this. We'll go to the other side. All right, we'll check the left front. It's 26 and a half, the same as the other one was. We're going to make it 32. And now the last one. It's 23. Take a little longer to fill it up. And of course, don't forget the spare. This has got a spare. And of course, with these baby spares, read the directions. Inflate to 60. This has got more pressure because it's a tiny tire. Got 40, so we'll put 60 in. There we go, 60 PSI. Okay, so it's rumbling noise was made by the tires being too low on pressure. Always check them every once in a while. It just so happened that the light came on when I was road testing it. I didn't even think about it myself, so put a little note in your glove box, say, check tires at least once a month with a gauge. You can't trust this equipment to warn you all that much. Low tire pressure, your tires are gonna wear weird, they're gonna make noises. Then, like most people don't know a good mechanic, you take it in, they're gonna try to sell you stuff. So in this case, it was just some free air. Then driving around with Bernie's cleaner in it, I can see it's running perfectly fine. Didn't have any bad data anyways, but Hondas will have a tendency of carboning up a little. That'll clean all the carbon up, and then voila, you can drive your Honda around, just put a little air in the tires, a little Bernie's cleaners, and feel happy that you didn't buy a Jeep, which is what he had before this. He brought it here last year. It broke down soon after, and he got rid of the stupid thing, never to buy another Jeep again. He only got it because it was his mother's, and he thought, well, she took good care of it. It doesn't matter what you do with a Jeep, it will fall apart. In the modern day Jeeps, since Fiat and Stellantis took over, they've made a lot of junk. Honda, they still continue to make pretty good cars. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Minerai says, how do I install new spark plug wires? I got a 2000 Chevy pickup with a 4-cylinder engine. I noticed the wires aren't the same lengths. Does it matter if I mix the lengths? And how much dielectric grease should I put on them? First, we'll say dielectric grease. You only put a little bit of dielectric grease. A real easy way to get those stupid ear cleaners, you know, those little ear cleaners with the cotton ball. Put a little on the end and then stick it inside and put it on the boot that plugs onto the spark plug. That's all you need, just a little bit. Now as for the lengths, you don't want binding and stuff. So what you want to do is look at the lengths of your old one and copy them so that the same length is on the same area. You don't want them to bind because then when you hit bumps, it might come loose and it might rub on something. That's why they're made different lengths. Follow the same lengths as the ones that are on it now so you make sure you get enough slack. You don't want them too tight. So just look at your old ones, and if you want, put a label on 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then when you take them off, you can match up which are long, which are short, and put them in the right number. It's the easiest way to do it. Supermoon says, how do I fix dragging brakes? If it's only one side that's dragging, it has to be something on that side that only affects that side. Say if you had a bad brake master cylinder, it's going to affect both front brakes at the same time or both rear brakes. You only have the left rear brake that's dragging. So 99% of the time, it's either sticking caliper on that side that you need to put a caliper on, and you can buy a remanufactured one at a discount auto parts store. They work perfectly fine. Or the hose that goes to that side has a problem. The only other thing could be check it just to see. If it's all worn out, it'll drag. Pull it off, and you see it's all worn down to metal, then you're going to have to replace all those parts. More often it's a sticking caliper on something like that. So take it off, check it, and then you can tell, right? And here's a real good thing. You jack it up and it's stuck. Great. then take the wheel off. Go to the bleeder valve on the caliper. Open the bleeder valve. If you open the bleeder valve and then it unsticks, it's not the caliper, it's the hose that's building up pressure. But if you have an actually stuck caliper and you open the bleeder valve, it'll still be stuck. It won't unstick it. So that's a good way to test it. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.